Oh, look, I even have a slide for the conventional loan. Pretty much everything up here is the same. The only difference is here, okay? You know, you invoice the seller for release of equitable interest and submit both of those contracts and the invoice to the title company. In most cases, the title company will have a release of affidavit for you, but if they don't, it's in that forms disk. Okay? No, well, the title company will give you a set of time that they are available, and then you and the seller decide what time slot you want to come in at. Right? It's like a doctor's appointment. You know, so yeah, I mean it's yeah, all of the parties has to have that time available to come in. Now, for once you start doing more business with the title company, you have a relationship with them. They're very flexible with you. So, like in my case, in my case, they have a scheduled time with the other parties, like the seller and the buyer. They have a scheduled time with them, and for me, I can come in and sign my paperwork anytime I want, or they can come to my house or my office, and I'll sign it, and they take it back. So.
But that's based on contractual. It's not on the day. The contract specifies the day of close.
No, the contract specified on or before.
Right, but you can't go beyond.
Well, you can extend the contract to go beyond. A lot of time it does go beyond. A lot of time it does. Huh? The seller has to agree to it. Yeah, but in most sellers' case, I've never had well, I wouldn't say never. That has happened where the seller just says, I gotta close on this date, or else it's a no deal. But in most cases, the sellers are very willing to extend another few more days for legitimate reasons. Like, well, we weren't able to inspect the house until so and so, or you had the title issues, and now because of that, there's a delay. So title issues, inspections, appraisals, those are good reasons to come back with sellers for why. I had a house where the house needed so much damage, had so much damage, I had to get inspected twice, so I come back and tell the seller, like, hey, this is the reason. And also too, if the house is vacant, most of the time there's no electricity on. And so you have to work with the seller to turn on the electricity and then send the inspector out, not just electricity, but all of the utilities, gas, water, have everything turned on before you send the inspector out. Otherwise, it'll be a waste of your $300. And so, so yeah, the sellers are very understanding. The sellers are not as bad as most of you might make them to be. They're pretty nice people. They're like us. Huh? Do I get every house I buy or I flip? If I buy, the answer is yes. If I'm buying the house, the answer is yes. But if I'm just assigning or double closing to another buyer, then the answer is no. It depends on how much money I'm going to make on the deal. But once I mean, for you right now, if you're new into this, then you don't need to worry about spending money on getting the house inspected. But once you do a few deals and you have a few buyers that are, that buys from you over and over again, you have a list of landlords that will come to you. Then it's much nicer of you if you just get inspected and hand them the inspection report.
I have a question. If you live in another state, can you do this from afar? For instance, like you're mentioning the records of the affidavit.
Right. The answer is yes, you can do this from afar. Like here, the affidavit, for example, here in Harris County, we don't have to actually go down to the courthouse to record it. We can send it in to have it recorded. That's one way you can have an affidavit recorded. The second way is you can tell your title company, you can give it to your title company and tell them to record it for you. But if you're out of state, then you're better off just to send it in. So you send in the affidavit along with whatever the recording fee is, like a check for that. So it's a one page. So here in Houston, it'll be like $7. So I'll send in $7 along with a copy of that.
Okay.
Now, the trick to doing when you're doing these deals out of state or out of your area, it's best if you have a bird dog or a realtor that's on the ground. So that way, that person can take pictures and send you pictures. That person can meet up with sellers or buyers for you if need to be. But the and they don't even need to meet up with the seller and buyers. The picture part is probably the most important part, especially if the seller themselves don't have any way to send you pictures. And so if you have a realtor where you're paying them like a BPO fee, which is depending if it's a drive-by BPO, an interior BPO, and take pictures and run comps, it'll cost you anywhere between $35 to like $125. Any agents in here does BPO? How much do you charge? $75. See? $50. See? So it's not that expensive to have an agent on the ground to do these legwork for you. Okay? BPO stands for Broker's Price Opinion, meaning the agent will run comps on the property and tell you what they think, their opinion of what the property is worth based on the comps, based on the condition of the property. And banks send out BPOs all the time, before they, when they do short sales, when they want to know how much equity they have in the deal so they can decide whether they want to foreclose on you. Things of that nature, they'll send out a BPO. Okay.